Hey everybody, this is Grace. In this video, something is on my mind because I was asked in a question about this two different ways recently about, the way people talk about different personality, cluster B personality disorders, okay? And that if you talk about one and they're interested in hearing about the other, they get all confused. Basically, is that they would get very confused if they're only interested in one. Why do they need to know about the other ones? Or do they even need to know, okay, about that there is any other one? They just want to know about that one. I want to look at this in different ways. Various ways. I'm not saying any of them are right or any of them are wrong, but as far as the DSM, who needs to really know exactly what the DSM states? I mean, besides like students or professors, it would be some people in that field that would be using that book to diagnose. Okay? When a person is, whatever it is where you live, a counselor or a psychiatrist or whatever it is, a therapist, where, whatever it is where you live, that can do that. And they would need to know the different ones to make a decision, on what to make the diagnose. Yeah, how to diagnose. I just woke up, just in case you're wondering. It was a long nap. I was up too late last night with my poor dog. It's not doing that great, my old dog. Anyway. And I could see that really people who are making these diagnoses, they would need to know what each one is about, okay, the differences between them. Now, how often do I personally see someone that has just the, however many symptoms that meet the criteria for each one? And like I've always said, what I see most in my life, what I've seen, and I'm not diagnosing anybody with it, is anything, is the behaviors of narcissistic behaviors and histrionic behaviors, a blend of them. And sometimes they can have a symptom or two, if you call them symptom, or two of, the other two, besides narcissistic, including narcissistic histrionic, borderline personality disorder, antisocial personality disorder, what some would call psychopathic, sociopathic, whatever. These they don't all just only have theirs. I've never seen that, never. So yeah, I would want to know about the other ones, not just the cluster Bs, but other personality disorders, A or C, and see what do I see a blend, and what would this one do and that one not do? But is it really all that important? Okay, remember, these may be right or wrong. I'm just making a little twist, taking twist here, making twist. Okay, so if you know that they have these bad behaviors and you're not someone who would need to diagnose, or you're not someone who should be diagnosing, okay, people do that. They diagnose in their own mind, somebody. But do you need to know? But you shouldn't really diagnose them. If you're going around telling people, hey, you're a narcissist, or you have histrionic personality disorder, and you're not supposed to be diagnosing, why are you doing that? What does it say about you? Taking different devil's advocate and angel's advocate. Angel's advocate means something else. So anyway, so yeah, what would we really want to know? The average layperson, the common person, would need to know is that these people can be really bad. Okay, they can be very dangerous. That doesn't mean that they will be dangerous or they will be bad, but they could be. Anybody could be. But wouldn't it be, if you think about it, that these can be worse? Okay, pure evil. Now I'm going to twist around this way too. Yeah, if somebody's trying to figure out, what is wrong with this person in my life? They do this, that, and the other, and I don't get it. I don't know what to think about it. And they somehow stumble upon narcissistic personality disorder online, and they see these different symptoms. It says symptoms of narcissistic personality disorder, and they say, yeah, the person I know fits into that one, that one, that one, that one. It seems like they have those symptoms. And then they go and search for more, and they find out more. They find out about the other ones, the other personality disorder, the symptoms of them, if it leads them to that. But some people, they don't want to go beyond that one. They want to stay focused on that one. Like I said, I have never really seen just one, symptoms of from just one of them in anybody. Look at the dark tetrad, the dark triad. Both of those start to get, oh my goodness, how do I see it all around? Yeah, I can see it can start to get very confusing for some people. Very confusing. See that, but it looks like somebody drove into that big old, close to the big old, what do you call them? What is pillar? I think. What is it that they're called? It's holding that sign up over there. Yeah, boy, sometimes the words just, I don't use them. It's right out of my head. But anyway. So you know what I'm saying? Or do you know what I'm saying? Do I know what I'm saying? I haven't eaten lunch, and it's 1:56. And I just woke up, so I haven't even had breakfast, actually. Yeah, I did. I had egg. I had an omelet. I forgot about that. But anyway, so, why would a person need to know, exactly as if it's exactly any personality disorder, unless they're the people who would be diagnosing. Now, you given a diagnosis for yourself or somebody yeah, you want to know what falls underneath that. I get that, yeah. But like I say, I'm playing with alternatives. But other than that, if you were just someone who's around somebody who's really bad and you want to know what it is, but why would you know exactly what to put on it, what label to put on it? Are you going to be labeling that person, telling that person that you're this and you're that? Or you just want to know for yourself, to have it in your mind? What would be the purpose to know exactly which one that would fall under? I don't know. See, I can't say. I'm curious what others would think, because I was a career student. I earned my degrees in psychology and sociology, taught at college and university years ago, earned my degrees years ago. So that's always been part of me. I mean, since I was young, when I earned my bachelor's and then my master's and so forth, all those classes I took, it would always be in me to think in terms of it would fall under this category or that category. You see, it's not something that I would know what other people would think. An average layperson, someone who's not earned their degree, someone who's not diagnosing people, legally. You see what I'm saying? And I'll tell you the truth, that what worries me is I've noticed this trend, I've mentioned this trend, that I've seen people using, they diagnose the person in their life. That is a problem. They diagnose them with that disorder, and they're not being diagnosed by a professional. They're not a client of any, whatever it is where you live, like I said. Counselor. Let's just say counselor. They're not, or psychiatrist, okay? They're not being diagnosed by somebody who has that right to do so. Okay, that's legally to do so. So, and I've seen that people were using this, and they say this so they can insult that person. Okay, now where was I? But anyway, so, some people, they're doing it, they're trying to find out information about these kinds of things. They may have heard it from somebody, just so they can use it against somebody else. In a bad way, in an evil way, in a smart aleck way, in whatever. But then there are some people who are truly wanting to know for their own purpose, and to know what should they expect, what could they do about it. I mean, as far as like, who should they see, what kind of counselor or what kind of therapist they should see for themselves, not for the other person, because they don't want to diagnose or whatever it is. They're not doing it for bad reasons. Let's just say bad. They're doing it for good reasons, maybe, or self-preservation reasons. You see what I'm saying? No, they're not doing it to be mean to other people. Okay, to go back to the original, and some people that they don't want to be confused. If they say they have a friend who is diagnosed with borderline personality disorder, they don't want to understand anything about any other disorder, because it might confuse them of what they should be expecting. I can get that. I can totally get that. And, they're not students. They're not professionals in that field or anything. They just want to know what to do, how to feel about their friend or whomever it is that they know was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder by a professional. I get it. I totally get it. But you will hear people say this, that people with borderline personality disorder also can have, the way I've always put it was like what's expressed most could be one of the others. Personality disorders, some kind of behavior of. But that, to me, is in all of them. I think it actually even says, I have a DSM-4 TR, and I've got it listed in the description box below this video on YouTube. And it does, I think in all four of them, that they have this similarity to this other one, but this is the difference. Okay, so if you're really looking it up where, here it is where people look up to diagnose, you're going to see more than one. You're going to see how it's similar to the other one. So, but some people, I get it. Some people, that's just too much. It makes the brain want to explode. I can understand that. But at the same time, you might, once you get past that little initial stage of your brain wants to explode, and you, if that is how it is, and you really get what, you get your own, you get what borderline is, what it's about. Still, I think it's a good thing to know about the other ones, not in the way of going around saying you're this and you're that and you have this, because anybody can have symptoms of any of these, but it's a professional who needs to diagnose, okay? Just put it that way. But we can all have like narcissistic behaviors, and that doesn't make us narcissistic. It doesn't make us a narcissist. Okay, it doesn't make us closer to being than just somebody else just because they have that one or that whatever. But you get what I'm saying. I also want to mention this. Some people say, that they think that they can go to any counselor and every counselor is going to know everything there is to know about, say, narcissistic personality disorder or borderline personality disorder. And that might not be the case. I'm going to say that's not the case. They may have heard of it, but it's not what they focus. They focus on. It's like you go to your regular doctor, and they may have. I went to mine, and I said that I was having this one thing about eating bread, and he said, well, you'd have to go to the what is it called? Gastro and oncologist? How do you pronounce it? I don't know. See, I don't know. But because, like the problem with eating bread, what is the rest of it called? I don't know. Gluten, issue with gluten. And so I would have to see them. He's heard of it. He knew who to tell me to go to. But it's not his specialty. His is general practice. Okay, now that's why I'm saying some people think that they speak to a therapist. They call around to find out a therapist, and those therapists, they don't know enough about this. They don't, this one doesn't know that. You need to do your homework, okay? You need to call around and ask. And when you call to make an appointment, ask, is this the type that they are? Then you go to one, some people get really angry. They go to one, and that one says, doesn't seem to know anything about it. Well, did you ask before you went to? And they get mad because they spend the money to go to one, and they didn't do their homework themselves, okay? And then, just to call and say, I want an appointment. Yeah. About what? Now, a lot of people get kind of offended when somebody is, like I said, like I was saying earlier, diagnosing people. And that might make you look worse. If you call a counselor and you say, my boyfriend has narcissistic personality disorder, and I need counseling. And they said, well, was he diagnosed? They might not even ask, because that's not that's not their client, and you're the potential client. Okay. Now, when they say in counseling, they find out that you diagnose this, they might get a little offended. You shouldn't be diagnosing. It depends on where you live, of course, but no, I have never known a place where it's okay for anybody to diagnose somebody else and just stamp that on them, and that it's actually real, that it's actually respected. Maybe I should say respected, because what are you doing? Are you overstepping boundaries? Yeah. But anyways, like I was saying, not all of them are going to know. When I was a student, years ago, we didn't focus that much on it. I think maybe narcissistic and psychopathic, those two. And um, psychopaths, sociopaths, and narcissists. As far as personality, I think that was it. That's all we focused on. Nowadays, it's antisocial, and where is psychopath and sociopath, how it fits in or what is closer, it all kind of gets confusing, yeah. With under antisocial, yeah, personality disorder. It gets confusing. But no, things have changed over the years. You got to understand that too. Whatever job you have, if you had it when you were, say, 10 years ago, has it changed at all? Things change right now. Now versus, say, 20 years ago. 20 years ago, people weren't all into, walking around with their computer in their back pocket. I don't put mine in my back pocket, the cell phone. No. The computer was this big clunky thing that sat on a table. I owned my first computer back in 1982, so, hey, yeah. So, say 30, 40 years ago. Yeah. However many. Things have changed, so have in most areas. But anyway, I was talking about computers. Nowadays people spend a lot of their time, not everybody, we might think so because you're online right now and you're a person who gets online for things like this. Other people, they don't. They simply do not spend much time on the computer for anything, if at all, if they even own one. If their cell phone is not a flip phone. This kind of thing. But because there's so much that people that do, I forgot what the percentage is now. But anyway, so many people do, that things, the way that they would be looked at has differed. It's different now. Okay, anyway, but a fire truck and an ambulance. Yeah, but anyway, so you can't really do counseling the same way, to say someone who is a person who is online quite often, as you would have those many years ago, because there wasn't that many people on there. I was a dirty four-letter word, geek. Geek was a dirty four-letter word back then. Seriously. And so anyway, you can't think, okay, this, like a client comes in and they say, well, where did you get this information? And they say, well, I got it online. Back then, there would not be any, I got it online. Okay? You see what I'm saying? So that professional might have to deprogram you, because what you find online is not always 100% right. They might have to deprogram the client into what they believe and reprogram them, about whatever it is, you see. And that wasn't something that they would have to have done so much back then, so many years ago, because there would not have been that much information out there. I'm sure I'm making sense somewhere along the line, and I think I better wrap this video up before I really start not making sense. Yeah, there's a lot going on around me. Anyway, I'll talk to y'all in another video, but if you have any thoughts about it, like I was saying, I'm going to kind of weave in a different viewpoints on these things, alternative viewpoints, and think about it. But yeah, what I'm saying too much lately is more people want to know more so they can use it against people. That's not a good thing. That's not a good thing. People who are looking for self-preservation reasons, or just to understand this and not use it against people, yeah, it's a world of difference. This is a different whole all around. Anyway, I'll talk to you on another video.